there is an immediate attitude of aggression towards skateboarders, and often it comes from a very uneducated direction as well. It's so loud and intense in so many different ways that on the inside it almost cancels itself out and becomes quite a moment of peace. Whereas obviously it has the opposite effect to those that are observing, that aren't part of it. My name's James Bush. Been skateboarding for around 23, 24 years or so now. Long old time. Well, I grew up around Milton Keynes. One of the things that Milton Keynes is famed for is good ledges that grind well. And a huge part of that is the texture, is the noise. Like, obviously there's adrenaline and there's these other things that people crave and people enjoy, but I think a huge part of it for me is grinding through rough and different textures and surfaces. Gets me kind of in a hypnotic state and just kind of makes me feel like I'm in flow state when I'm doing long grinds and feeling the different textures and hearing those noises, and that's what really draws me to it. It makes me feel peaceful in the least peaceful environment, you know. Naturally, skateboarders, like people that are inclined to go skateboarding, it's often people with different neurodiversities that react to it in a certain way. There's a lot of rhythmic elements to it, and sound and texture and feel, and I think that drowns out noise for a lot of us. Yeah, it's a very complex thing. When I was growing up and I started skateboarding, it was very much looked at as a ruckus and negative thing entirely. When I was a teenager, I was getting physically held out of spots by burly security guards that were over twice my age.
Why are you filming me anyway?
Sorry.
Why are you filming me?
Yep, sorry. My parents were luckily very liberal and very forward-thinking, and as soon as I started picking it up, they were very willing to let me do as much as I wanted, and they were happy that it got me outside and, you know, exercising and getting fresh air and experiencing things. But a lot of my friends' parents and stuff looked down on it, didn't particularly like that I did it.
Yeah, we just
I think they saw it as quite aggressive and loud and almost as a form of vandalism, which isn't how it feels to do it. It's not the way that we feel about it. We're not doing it for that purpose, but was the way it was seen when I was growing up. When people look at us, they think of us as a certain type of person naturally. I think that's obviously been reined in by our appearances in media and publications and television and cinema and video games. The mainstream narrative of what a skateboarder is very different, I think, to the reality of it. People view us as less intelligent and less motivated and less keen to be a part of the general cultural system. But in reality, we're just people with a different mindset. When I was a kid, and when a lot of skateboarders my age were kids, skateboarding was considered uncool as a subculture. And we stood out, we dressed differently to people, we did things our own way, and that was a really personal part of it for me. And as time's gone on, that subculture intrigue has become something that society chases a lot. As capitalism progresses, we get into a society where people crave individuality and difference, and skateboarding was looked to in the past 10 and 15 years as a great evidence of self-expression and individuality, and mainstream fashion and music and culture has drawn from skateboarding as an inspiration for those things.
Yeah, I might leave it today.
Street skateboarding is much more of a, for me, an ethereal experience, and it's a lot more of a battle with patience and a battle with yourself, overcoming certain mind barriers. There's so much more distraction and noise and different things that you have to overcome when you skate street that aren't the case in park and competition skateboarding. Park and competition skateboarding is much more gravitated towards by people that see skateboarding as a sport, whereas street skateboarding is more where people that see it as an art form develop their skills. For me, it feels more like an experience of expression as opposed to a sport per se. A huge part of that is just the limitless possibilities of what you can do. It's like both mathematic and creative at the same time. So I naturally gravitated towards street. I would deem myself as a neurodiverse person. My brain works at 100 miles an hour all the time, and I find that when I go skateboarding, it's impossible to not focus entirely on the act of doing it. In the time that you're riding your skateboard, you have no other distraction, or it's a very insular and powerful thing. It really takes everything away for a brief moment.
Yeah, land on the centre of the board again.